Hi, I'm Ross Hudgens, founder of Siege Media, and today I want to tell you the difference between organic discovery search results and pitchable search results. So a couple weeks ago, I pitched something, or I tweeted something around the concept of Ahrefs' backlink study that showed if you rank higher, you generate more links. And this got a surprising amount of engagement. I thought it was worth diving into the difference between these two things and why it matters and how to leverage it to your advantage. So what I mean by organic discovery is functionally the idea of if someone finds your result on a Google search, they'll reference it and link to it just naturally without you having to pitch them. And then pitchable query is obviously the reverse. You just have to pitch them. Why this matters is if you go to a search result, say it's like best infographics, you'll see the top 5 or so, they have 20 plus links. This means in general, this is a high intent to link query, but not always does a high intent to link query mean you can actually generate links through pitching, or vice versa, that if it just ranks that you'll generate a lot of links. And why this matters is because if you set it up for one thing and you do the other, you won't be able to generate a lot of links. So an example of this might be drunk driving statistics. So if you go to this search result, you'll see a ton of links to the top ranking assets. But the nature of this market, there aren't that many people you could build an infographic or a data visualization around these statistics for and actually pitch it. So if you look at that result and you just say, hey, someone wants to link to this stuff, and then you go pitch it, you're not going to succeed super well because of that. And on the reverse side, there are some search results that won't really generate that many links from just ranking. It's actually because people have pitched them over time and generate those links to gain that momentum and get in the search results. So if you misidentify one or the other, you can actually end up not ranking on either and having a lower success rate overall. So I want to get into that and show you how to differentiate between the two and use it to your advantage. So specific to an organic discovery query, what I recommend here and also for the pitchable queries is to just take it a step further in terms of evaluating the search result. So you see they have 20 plus links. Go into a few of those backlink profiles and actually see the type of links that are being generated there. So if you open those links, you take a look at them, you'll notice one thing about organic discovery type link markets is if you see the people that reference them, they're rarely the primary part of that article. Because it's sometimes in the drunk driving statistics, it's just some reporter that's secondarily looking for a statistic to back up their study. They're not specifically going to write about your article being so great because that doesn't make sense in the context of that situation. They're instead going to reference it as a one-off, find supporting data, and link to you because of that. You're not going to be the primary vehicle of that story. And similarly, because you'll see this happen more and more often on these kind of results, is the secondary reference rather than the primary reference. It's those other markets, maybe it's wedding planning timeline or some kind of printable that has top funnel search volume. A lot of times you'll see those people that link to those sites on the top 5 or 10, well, they'll sometimes be the primary story instead of the secondary one. That means some blogger saw this or was pitched this, and it's the entire story that they wrote about. You can see that difference because if they're their primary story, that means it's pitchable because they're ready to link to it in a unique fashion. But if it's a secondary vehicle, that reporter needs to wait for the exact moment to be able to reference that article, and you can't get in front of them via pitch in order to do that. You have to find the perfect intersection of those two in order to stand out. So in the drunk driving statistics result example, what you actually want to do is just build something that allows you to rank for this organic discovery term in terms of SEO best practice, making it great. Hopefully you have the domain authority, you can put it higher in your hierarchy. It's just less likely you can build an infographic or something to support that and pitch it and generate links. Another consideration here when you're thinking about organic discovery versus pitchable markets, sometimes you'll actually notice people only reference that specific thing, but it takes them forever to write the article that they're writing. So an example of this would be in the recipe market. If you're doing a chocolate chip cookie recipe, you'll see bloggers will actually find some amazing recipe, and then write about it and do their own take on it. But it takes hours to make a recipe like that. You think they're just gonna take your cold pitch chocolate chip cookie recipe and write a post that takes 3 hours? No, you have to rank in those markets in order to get there. And that's gonna take time and effort and real skill and obviously a great recipe in order to get someone to warrant doing that over time. So you can see those two variables being at play here. You want to find those sites that, and the link results that show people have linked to this as a primary story, but not taking forever. That means there's likely something about that concept that makes it easily shareable. Maybe it's a shareable asset, an infographic, data visualization in some way, or maybe it's on a link list, which is relatively quick as well. Or they're doing it as a secondary resource. That's an organic discovery kind of market, or a 3+ hour kind of resource. That's also an organic discovery kind of market. You have to leverage these concepts and this idea that you knowing whether it's pitchable or organic discovery to know if you need to pitch this or if you can even rank for it up front. And that can inform your prioritization efforts to say, can we rank for chocolate chip cookie recipe today as a year one website? Almost certainly not. That's a long-term strategic decision. And on the reverse side, if you're building the drunk driving statistics posts and you know you can't pitch that, you better have some firepower in terms of getting it higher in your site architecture in order to get it to rank. So I think it's also worth noting as a final point on this is that it's not always black and white. Sometimes these things coexist. On the drunk driving statistics example, and also some facts type queries, we have a post, best infographics. That is high organic discovery, but it doesn't mean, in that example, it's high organic discovery, but on the wedding planning timeline scenario, that doesn't mean it's only pitchable, or maybe it's some printable template. That doesn't mean it's only pitchable. Organic discovery still happens in those markets, and in general, it's always a good idea to start ranking and plan for that. But you should know the difference when considering the market and understanding the variables and also setting expectations. Because simply because you rank number one for some query that maybe isn't going to generate actual sales for you doesn't mean you're going to suddenly attract thousands of links. So in general, when we're defining strategy, we're understanding this entire spectrum. Yes, trying to plan for things that generate brand awareness and organic links over time, but also setting up the high organic discovery vehicles as soon as possible in the campaign in order to get that benefit over time of those rankings, because it takes a while to rank things. And when you can't pitch those, it's going to take even longer as well. So hopefully this was a useful exercise to think about organic discovery versus pitchable queries. If you have a specific query you'd like me to look at, I'd love to give you some feedback in the comments. So let me know what that search is, and I'll let you know my own insights or thoughts on that. And if you like this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching.